The Guam National Olympic Committee, through the Olympic Solidarity Grant, put together with our Medical and Anti-Doping Commission the presentations entitled Guam's Athlete Preparedness. This program is or was originally done with the ISA, but since the pandemic, it has shifted, and now we are working with the schools from elementary, I'm sorry, from middle school to high school. The program entails getting our athletes ready for sport, um, giving them information on the Olympic values, as well as anti-doping, nutrition, and other core Olympic values.
We are responsible for the anti-doping component for the athlete preparedness, or also known as the athlete awareness program. And so what we cover is not only the idea of what is considered banned substances to enhance performance and should be frowned upon, but also other considerations to what could also be considered anti-doping violations, because these are simple things that they can avoid in the future as athletes to ensure that they are still promoting those values of respect, equity, and inclusion.
In terms of what we're talking about, basically we're teaching these young athletes that you are responsible for whatever you put in your body. And so I just want to shout out to one of our other educators, Lenore Matanani.
Yes.
Who it does a great job. She's not here right now, but she does a great job doing the nutrition aspect of it, especially as at this point talking about hydration for athletes, as well as like, for example, energy drinks and caffeine and things like that, how that affects your performance. So in terms of us moving forward, my portion for the program is basically movement patterns and starting to teach the kids more long-term athlete development model, because the target group that we're looking at is going to be our next generation of Olympians. They don't realize it yet, but in the next 4 to 8 years, when they come up, that's what we're looking at. So.
How did this all come about, and what was the collaboration of like putting the program together?
We wanted to try to help our athletes with not just the sports specific area, but also getting them prepared for the adulthood, trying to get them actively involved in whatever they do and keeping an active lifestyle. Obesity is one of our issues on this island, and so if we can get them to start at an early age and keep that concept in them, we're hoping that in the long run they live a healthier lifestyle.
So really just understanding those aspects, and so an example, what a lot of athletes don't understand as a potential violation would be your whereabouts as an athlete, meaning making sure that if you are in that pool of potentially being tested for any type of doping usage while you're in season, out of season, in competition, whatever the case may be, that it is your responsibility to make sure that you're notifying the anti-doping officer or the doping control officer that you are in a certain location. So other things like potentially avoiding or tampering your drug testing, or dope testing, and so that would be something that they would consider an anti-doping violation. And so things that may or may not fall through the cracks, so to speak, if you're really just focusing on performing as an athlete. And so we want to make sure that these athletes are prepared and understand what is expected of them outside of their ability to perform in their sport.
Or is this like a framework that say the volleyball federation, the weightlifting federation, the basketball program, can they actually implement to their own program?
Yes.
I think it's a combination of both.
Combination of both.
Yeah.
Depends how big your organization is. So some organizations are not well put together. So that's our job to go and help their athletes. If they're, like basketball, for example, they're well put together, they'll probably be able to facilitate their own stuff.
So you guys are using the network effect to basically like get the ball rolling with every federation. If they need a little bit more handholding, you guys got it.
And so before each event, we have the anti-doping presentations that must be done for every athlete that's going to compete in the games. We also have the nutrition area where we're trying to work. We need to work with our national federations in making sure that they implement some sort of nutritional program with their athletes, especially with the elite athletes who require day-to-day analysis of the nutrition intake
You know, ultimately, I think the fact that we're in the schools, like you had mentioned, and we're interacting with the students and having Paul, for example, going through movement patterns and having them be active, number one, it shows that there are organizations and individuals that care about their well being. And then number two, that they do have an opportunity. And going back to those values of equity and inclusion to potentially, if not become an Olympian, at least become their best self. And so really I think that the reception has been overall positive, and that everyone can take something away from it, including ourselves as well as the teachers, the students of course, but everyone that they end up sharing that information with.
This is for our island, and
Yeah.
anybody who's living here and makes this their home, we're open to sharing the information with them. We
Alright.
want them to live a healthier lifestyle. We want them to understand the values of sport, especially the Olympic values. So if it takes one person to spread the word, we'll use that one person's word.